everyone. So thank you so much for all of you who have taken out time to join us live today, despite being present in different parts of the world. So we are delighted to have you all here on this special day, which is the World Day for Earth. So and today we are going to have a discussion with you where we would be talking about how you all have been playing an important role in making sure that we preserve the earth in the best ways possible. So since you have been playing an important role in preserving the earth as much as possible, we are crowning you as the change makers of earth. Well, we know that change does not come from one person, but it does ignite the fire, and together we can fuel that fire to bring the best changes around us. Let's learn new from new people that what else we can do to make our earth more green and our natural resources can be used in a more sustainable way. So now, before we move ahead, we would request all our change makers who are here to introduce themselves to all of us here. What do you do? Where are you based? And that would only give 1 minute to each one of you. So you can start introducing yourself so we can move ahead. I would first nominate the first person and then you can nominate the other people around you. So maybe first Harshdeep can go.
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone. My name is Harshdeep. I'm based in Ljubljana, Slovenia. I moved here a while back. And I've been plant-based for about 4 years now. I remember this is the only New Year's resolution which really happened for me. It was 2018 New Year's when I decided to turn plant-based. And currently I'm a lawyer. I studied for 6 years international commercial law, but then I went on to dabble with activism in animal rights, and then went on to become a yoga teacher. So here right now I'm teaching yoga, and we are working on Safe Soil movement. We are part of it here in the volunteers group. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Harshdeep. Yeah, would you like to nominate someone else from the team that is here? All the change makers?
Amita?
Amta is part of our team, so probably the change because I'll do that part. Maybe Shiva, if you can go next.
Hi, I'm Sivakumar Verma from Hyderabad. I'm vegan from past 8 years. By profession, I'm into renewable energies, and I'm the founder of Animal Bloodline. The main aim of that NGO is to provide a blood transfusion during medical emergencies for animals. And even today, Bindu, she also joined the meet, and she is a co-founder. I'm nominating her to talk.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Would you like to nominate the next person that you see here?
Monica Bindu.
Hi, can you see me? Hello.
Yes, we can.
Hi. Hope you all are well. I'm Monica, and I've been a vegan for almost 5 years now. I'm currently based in England, northeast of England, and I'm a doctor by profession. I'm a radiologist working in one of the northeast hospitals. So yeah, I mean, Shiva played a major role to help me go vegan almost 5 to 6 years ago. And I think this is one of the best decisions I have made in my entire life. And I'm proud. It all started when I got my dog. I developed this bond with him. Then I came to know animals have same emotions, feelings, and needs just like us. So I've stopped consuming all the animal products and meat as well. That's about me. And the next one I would like to nominate Radhika.
Thanks, Monica. So, hi everybody, I'm Radhika Bhagat and I'm a wildlife conservationist. I have worked for over 13 years with the Wildlife Trust of India in various capacities. And very recently, I have started my own NGO called the Sacred Earth Trust, in which we're working basically to reconnect people spiritually, with nature. And I'll talk more about it later. So yeah, that's me. I'll nominate Amita.
She's part of the team. That's
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, Nishan.
Okay, I'll take that lead from there because I think some of us are from the team itself. So maybe Pooja can know next. Pooja, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Pooja Sharma. It's quite a unique name. आपने सुना ही नहीं होगा कभी. It's very unique. I work. A quick intro. I work with this AI-based firm called Miko. We make robots for kids. That's my day job. Then I'm also a part-time musician. I play the guitar and sing, and I do gigs everywhere. And apart from that, I've been vegan for the past 2 years. It's not been that long. And yeah, so that's why I'm here, just to promote my love for animals. And I think someone else also mentioned that they adopted a dog, and that's how they started on this journey. And I have a similar story that I'll share later.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Maheshwari can go next.
Yeah, can I get 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes.
Definitely, we'll
Thank
jump
you.
on to maybe Sarthak.
Hello.
Hi, Sarthak.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes. Sarthak, could you please, everyone's sharing their intro of who you are and where you're based from and what do you do? So if you can give
Yes,
a brief.
ma'am. So, ma'am, I am Sarthak Srivastav, and I am from Gurgaon, Haryana. By profession, I am network engineer in IT industry. And apart from my profession, I am animal rights activist, and I am in the field of animal welfare from last 1.5 years. And I rescued lots of injured animals and get them treated and provide a shelter to them. And after healing completely, we release animals into their territory. And I am also 100% vegan, and I do not consume any animal product. That's all from my side, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Maybe Shweta Rani, if you can go next. Not sure if Shweta, if you can hear us.
Hello everyone, just give me 2 minutes, I'll be back.
Okay, is Dr. Maheshwari, are you ready? If you can go before Shweta Rani.
Yes, I can introduce myself. So, yeah, I'm Dr. Maheshwari Shangoli. I'm a holistic nutrition practitioner and a naturopathy doctor. So, I insist on giving plant-based diet and lifestyle to all my followers. And of course, in all the way we know, it is, we can reduce the footprint on the earth through that. And also, as a family, we do practice the same. As a plant-based nutrition and lifestyle, as much as chemical-free living, sustainable lifestyle. In the same way, I also insist my followers to do the same. And of course, as for the health too, it is definitely good. So a lot of researchers nowadays, it is proved that plant-based nutrition is what is, it's absolutely giving health nowadays. We see all reversing diseases, lifestyle diseases through plant-based nutrition. So that is what I'm doing, and almost from 12 years by now. Yeah, this is about me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maheshwari. Shweta, are you ready? If you can go next, because you're the last one for intro.
Hello.
Shweta, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Myself, Dr. Shweta Rani Mulgod. Am I audible?
Yes, please go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am, you're audible.
Yes. I'm a gynecologist by profession. I'm living at a place called Malingpur in Bagalkot. Karnataka. Actually, my journey started with Monica Bindu, Dr. Monica Bindu. She actually inspired me to go vegan. The actual journey started when I watched the most inspirational video on animal rights on YouTube. So that actually changed my life. I'm a mother of 2 kids. The second baby is just 6 months old. So I've been vegan since 3 years. I'm actually proud to be a vegan mother.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that.
That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much for the great introduction. So yeah, I think everyone's done with the introductions, whoever was part of the team. And yeah, that was lovely hearing all the details of where are you from and what all you do. So moving ahead, we also have a few words that we have recorded of all the people who are the change makers, and they shared some stories of how they changed towards a plant-based diet. So we would first have a look at that and see if you can see some inspirational quotes over there. So that was some of the inspirational quotes that we had. I hope you all enjoyed as much as we did. So now we have some of the key change makers who volunteer to be our key speakers for the day. So we'll first move ahead and have our first speaker, Pooja Sharma. You have already heard that she's working with the artificial intelligence firm, and she's a part-time musician as well as a performer. So maybe I would request Pooja to first go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Friday. Happy Friday. To begin my story, I'll have to back it up a little. thoda bachpan ki say I'll start, okay? But it's not going to be a long story. Don't worry. I've written some points down just for remembering them well. Okay. So growing up, I was very indifferent to animals. To me, animals seemed boring. If anyone would watch Discovery Channel or Planet Earth or anything of that sort, I would genuinely think that human beings are so much more interesting than animals. So I never harmed them in any way, but I was very indifferent towards them. And this was, I think, my stance for most of my teenage years and probably later than that. But then my life really took a 180 degrees turn when I adopted a dog. He's here, I can show you. Wait, can you see him? Yeah, he's sleeping. So my
What's his
life
name?
complete. He is Simba. So I said we did not buy him, although he's a very fancy breed. But we just some family wanted to give him up, so we adopted him, and that really changed my perspective towards animals. He opened doors of animal kingdom to me. I was completely unaware and ignorant of this unconditional love that people have not really tapped into. We expect so much from human beings, and let's face it, every human being disappoints you. Like no matter who he is, she is, they like everyone is disappointing. Except once you love an animal, you actually understand the true meaning of love. That unconditional love is just so pure. It's amazing. So when we adopted him, I started petting street dogs. In fact, during quarantine, I founded my own NGO. It was called Mission Possible, where I raised funds on Instagram, and I would go out every day, every single day for about a year, a little more than that. And I would go feed street dogs and animals. And while all of this was going on, I also decided to turn vegan. And for some people, the change is very gradual, but for me, it was like that because I remember I was very sad one day. I was just sitting and thinking of ways to get sadder. मतलब ऐसे सोचा मैंने कि ऐसे माहौल बनाते हैं आज बहुत ज्यादा दुखी होना है, एकदम एकदम मेरे साथ दुखी आ रही है आज कोई नहीं होना चाहिए. So I just sat down and YouTube this like cruelties that exist in Indian dairy. One video I watched, cried, bawled my eyes out, and that in just one video, that is all it took for me to convert to veganism. Then I started researching on how we are how this whole marketing of Indian dairy industry ki roz pee sakte एक glass दूध. I remember watching this ad growing up कि दूध पीना चाहिए, दूध ये होता है. And I always used to think that cows are milk machines. उनका दूध नहीं निकालोगे तो उनके पेट में दर्द होएगा. Like this is all what we had been told growing up, and I was completely unaware of the fact that cows give milk because they are mothers, not because they're machines. So when I educated myself over what goes on in the dairy industries and in the meat industries, I was always a vegetarian, but still I think dairy industry equals beef industry. So once I educated myself over how baby male calves are abandoned or killed or sent to the leather industry, and how mother cows are continuously impregnated, and like all of that जो हम सबको पता है यहाँ पे. But हाँ, जो अगर नए लोग सुन रहे तो उनको बताना चाहूंगी, cows are impregnated again and again for about 5-6 years, and then they're finally sold off to the beef industry. India is the second largest exporter of beef in the world, and गाय हमारी माता है, हमारी slogans ऐसे. So it's मतलब पता नहीं चल क्या रहा है, marketing is so wrong. So once I educated myself over this, I just decided कि नहीं, ये सब में मतलब I don't want to contribute to this cruel lifestyle. Just a sec. Yeah, and also it's not just about milk. The other, if you go into how pigs are treated in pig farms, how chickens are treated in poultry, everything will just shatter your soul. It'll break your heart. There are a lot of people, meat eaters, if you talk to them about कि तुम्हें पता है तुम्हारा खाना कहाँ से आता है, and all they do is मेरे को तो अभी आंख बंद कर लेंगे तो रात तो नहीं हो जाएगी. तो I think 2022 चल रहा है. It's better to be, you know, aware of what goes on around you. Dunya already, it has become so evil. So the most I can do is reduce my cruelty to the world. And plus also, I think it's very hypocritical of some pet parents who have pets but still eat meat. I mean, it's just disheartening to say the least. To me, a lot of there's a lot of argument around food chain. Ki food chain mein to we are on the top of the food chain, and I think all of that is just BS. Human beings are the only species that have a conscience. I can choose where I want to be on the food chain. I don't want to be on the top of it. I'm not on the top of anything. I want to be surrounded. I want to coexist with animals. I want to help them. I want to love them. And I get to choose where I can be on the food chain. Just because I can kill something does not necessarily mean that I have to kill it. So once that perspective, I think, goes deep into your psychology, it really changes how you look at the world. And I think to conclude, I think to me, animals are these magical beings and we all share the same DNA. We are all earthlings. They are all me. I am all them. Koi kisi ke upar nahi hai. So yeah, and I will always use my voice to preach my message of love for animals. And if you guys allow me, I had written a small poem on animal kingdom. I know this is not like a got talent मैं ऐसे poem पढ़ के सुना रही, but I had written something long time back and I think it's kind of okay, averagely good, sweet spot, average. So I'd like to read it. It is called Animal Kingdom. कहीं पे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो you guys can stop me and ask, okay? So yeah, it's called Animal Kingdom, goes something like this. A big blue-blooded octopus, a round red hippopotamus, a bulletproof armadillo, a kangaroo with a pillow, a roly-poly panda bear, a silky milky pony mare, a cuddly bubbly elephant, a squirrel with a nutty scent, a fuzzy buzzy honey bee, a dolphin whistling at the sea, a chubby tubby polar bear, a whisky frisky woolly hare, a moony toony owly hoot, a penguin in a raincoat suit, a planet full of mystic beings, a true magician trick it seems. So this is what I had written a long time back. And I think, and see, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Pooja, for that amazing poem. I think everybody must have listened that, but definitely with complete focus. So yeah, that was
Thank
Pooja
you.
sharing her story. It is not just that we were going to talk just about the animals, but there are other ways that we can also help the earth. And we have our next speaker with us, Harshdeep. So Harshdeep is also, as you have already introduced, that he is a classical Hatha Yoga teacher who is trained by Isha Hatha Yoga, and he would like to share his story and probably something new that you're going to hear about the Safe Soil movement that he's working on. So Harshdeep, over to you.
Hey everyone, Pooja, it was really wonderful what you shared. Firstly, I mean, I would like to talk a bit about my plant-based journey as well, because yeah, this is where it all started for me. Actually, a little before that, there was a program that I attended. It was called Inner Engineering. And before that, I was a bit like Pooja, that I did not care about plants, animals, anything, just the life around me. I was pretty dead to it, I felt. But there was this, well, for me, it was a spiritual personal growth program, which I attended because I was mostly interested in personal development. And from there on, I got initiated into a practice, which I had been doing since. And that changed my life upside down, literally. I felt as though, I was dead to so many things around me that I started becoming alive to just, ecology and animals. These weren't just, words for me. I could experience the connection with them. So I did that in 2017 November, and 2018 I decided to go plant-based. I transitioned. I was a heavy meat eater before. And then I became a vegetarian for 3 months, and then plant-based. And yeah, it's been a really fulfilling journey for me. And every day I just, see that how many animals, just by not doing something, it's not that we have to go out on the streets and fight someone and stop someone. Just by making a personal change, we are having such a significant impact on everyone's life and saving so many animals. There are, however, many animals that can't be seen, but they are the basis of our life. They're saying that about 27,000 species of microbial life, which is the basis of our life. Our own bodies are made of 60% microbes and 40% DNA. They are going extinct everywhere, which is turning soil into sand. That is massive scale of desertification is happening everywhere in the world. It's not just in Africa, but even in India, we are very close to desertification. About 60% of the land in India is very close to being deserted in about another 45 to 30 to 45 years. For soil to be soil and not become a desert or sand, there has to be a minimum of 3 to 6% organic content, which is the microbial life that has to be there. Otherwise, it'll become a desert. In India, that's a major threat. Even the place where I am right now in Europe, it might seem that everything is well. They have good food production, but just one country, Ukraine, hit by the crisis, entire Europe was dependent for their wheat production there. And since most of the lands here are being used for animal production, animal agriculture, they're not growing food for themselves. Most of it was coming from Ukraine. So it's been heavily impacted. The prices of food have increased incredibly here. So the movement Save Soil is a movement to bring the world's attention to our dying soil by inspiring 3.5 billion people, which is about 60% of the world electorate. And we are aiming to bring about global soil policy changes in 193 to 197 nations, so that all these nations make this a law that you cannot turn your soil into desert, because right now there are laws for all kinds of things, but if you hand over a land to someone, there is no way to guarantee it that he can turn it into a desert and there are no actions to it. There is no responsibility, there's no awareness about it. Soil degradation has been linked, soil extinction, I would rather say, has been linked to climate change, water scarcity, food security, conflict and migration, because United Nations predicting that in another 10 to 15 years, 1.2 billion people will migrate because of food and water scarcities. No country, nowhere in the world, any country is capable of handling those amounts of people, and no number of worlds can stop them. So they're saying that in 15 years time, there'll be massive civil strikes around everywhere in the world. That needs to be looked into. It's all based on that. There is huge amount of loss of biodiversity happening. Like I mentioned, 27,000 species are going extinct. Well, this is basically suicide that we are committing, but very slowly. It's not happening with a bank, because like when the war in Ukraine happened, because there was a lot of discussions that was happening with people. They're saying, let's talk Ukraine, there is a war happening, but this is what people do. When a crisis happened, they start crying about it, but when it is building up, they don't address it then. So what crisis that we are facing is happening very slowly. It won't come with a bang. This will be a slow fade, but it has to be addressed now. Above all, there was this statement by UNFA, or United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, said that the food that we are consuming right now does not even belong to the child, the small children that are there. It belongs to the unborn child. That's where we are at in this stage. Whatever plant-based food I eat, or we all are transitioning, because there are choices of food. But once food crisis happened, this privilege of having the choice will be lost. And I think for sure humanity would be forsaken, because a hungry man knows no ethics, no humanity. So this is a moment which is we are utilizing social media massively, because millions of volunteers around the globe, even in Slovenia, I remember we started a few months back with 4 volunteers, and now there are 200 people. Everyone has their jobs, they are busy with their own things, but they're all so committed, and it's so inspiring to see that they're all taking out times. The people who did not have Twitter accounts or TikTok or anything, they're all become very active. there have been toolkits which everyone can have access to on safesoil.org, that if someone does not know, because there's no other way to reach 3.5 billion people, and create that awareness, which will be the basis of bringing about soil policy changes. Because in a couple of weeks, there's a COP15 event happening in Ivory Coast, which is organized by United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. And this year's topic would be about addressing soil, because this last year COP26 happened and the word soil wasn't even mentioned once. Why was complete whitewash? They just discussed coals and fossil fuels and all those things, because that's not the problem of the developed world, that's a problem of the developing world. So this is very critical that's happening. And I would suggest if every one of us who's in that meeting and those who are watching anywhere else, please talk about soil in whichever capacity you can. Harness the power of social media, because people, I don't know, people say that social media is evil and, attention deficit, ADD, what not is happening, attention is dying. But I think if used correctly, this is a massive beast that we have in our hands, this powerhouse, and just the amount of reach. But the only thing is that people should speak in one voice, because when everyone speaks together, there is penetration and impact. Otherwise, we might be doing individual things for our personal satisfaction and, inspiring others around us. But then again, if you want to really reach out and make a big dent in terms of whatever we are doing, I think it's important to speak in one voice. So yeah, that's it from my side. And Pooja, also please share that poem somewhere. It's really wonderful. I'd love to share it on our handles.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harshdeep, for sharing so much details about the Safe Soil movement. I think people would have loved it, because I think most of the people might not be aware of it in so much of detail. So that was really amazing to know so much. And yeah, like you said, that we can together bring the change as much as possible, because one person can only just ignite the fire, but we need to add more fuel. So together we need to do that. So yeah, we have our new speaker, which is Radhika Bhagat. So Radhika, would you like to go ahead, since you have already shared that you are the founder and chairman for the Sacred Earth Trust? So would you like to start? You're on mute.
I'm just, can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
You can see the slides, right?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, great. So I'll just request you to tell me when it's 4 minutes so I don't go above my time, because I might get lost in it.
Take your time.
Yeah, thanks. So as I mentioned before, I'm a wildlife conservationist and I've worked for over 13 years in the field. There was a realization at one point that, I've given so many years of my life to conservation, and there have been victories, but they were also, the overall trend, as we are all aware of, was on the downside. We were losing forests, we were losing species, animal agriculture is on the rise. So what I realized was that what is really needed is a change in a collective consciousness, not just a few people fighting for what is right, but a larger group of people. The more people who join the right side, to say, is when we start winning this battle. So that's where the idea came for me to work on spiritual ecology. So spiritual ecology, I'm going to skip a few slides. Yeah. So spiritual ecology is basically, it's an emerging field in academia, in conservation, and religion as well, which recognizes that there is a spiritual facet to what is happening environmentally, or any problem that you see globally. There's a spiritual facet to it, which we have been just simply ignoring all this time. What I mean by that is, there's a very famous quote by, and I'm always quoting him, is that I used to believe that the top environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change, and that with good science, we'll be able to solve those problems. But what he realized was that the main problems are selfishness, greed, apathy. And to deal with this, we need a cultural and a spiritual transformation. And we are not addressing those, because at the end of a corporation making a decision to set up another coal plant or to dam an entire valley, which is happening right now in Dibang, Arunachal Pradesh. I mean, there's so many examples like that. There's a person or a group of people who are making these decisions based on their values. So that's where the whole idea for the trust came, and how recognizing that how globally across the world our cultures, whether we look at India, whether we look at Asia, or we look at any part of the world, our cultures were all rooted very deeply in nature worship. And I'll get into that a bit later. And there's also very interesting hypothesis or theory, it's called the Gaia hypothesis, which was put forth by an American, by British biochemist James Lovelock in the 1970s. And as part of his study with NASA, he was studying the atmospheres of Earth and other planets like Mars and comparing them. And what he realized was that unlike other planets, Earth, the biotic and the abiotic, as in the living and the non-living, are kind of working as an integrated system, not just as independent, but interconnected, working together to sustain life. So that's where he put forth this hypothesis that the Earth is a giant superorganism and not just a dead piece of rock floating about in space, as what we are made to believe. It's controversial, but there's science proving it and there's science challenging it, but it's something to think about. And I mean, you can read more about it. There's information on it online. But if even the term Gaia comes from the Greek goddess of earth, Gaia. Across cultures, like in India, we have Bhumi Devi, we have Pachamama in South America, we have Aja in Africa. So, goddess worship was one of the most primitive form of earth goddess worship was one of the most primitive form of worship across the world. Now, when we come to nature worship in Peru, they have huge sun worship ceremonies every year. In North America, they have, the Ojibwa tribe, which believe that there's personhood in everything from rocks to rivers to, to beetles to elephants. Everything has a personhood. There's shamanistic practices in which they connect with the natural world to enter higher states of consciousness. In Mongolia, I mean, that's actually prevalent across the world again, shamanism. In India, we worship mountains, we worship animals, we worship rivers. We have sacred forests in India. They say it's about 1,250,000 sacred forests in India, which are protected by the people, and they worship the local natural deities which they believe exist here. This particular one is from Kerala, and every year they have ritualistic festivals in these groves, and they're protected very, very fiercely. So I think there's a very pertinent question that we need to ask. How much time do you have left? I mean, that is also pertinent, but that wasn't.
I think the time should already be over, but you can take 1 minute.
Okay, I'll just wrap up. So I think the main issue here is that we are looking for happiness outwards. We have always been told that happiness lies outside of us. So we have to chase a career or materialism, or but whereas the source of unhappiness lies, due to the disconnect from ourselves and disconnection from nature, because we are animals who evolved in nature. And this disconnection happened over the past 200 odd years with the rise of capitalism and the Industrial Revolution, where nature had to be exploited rather than worshipped. So that's what, the whole movement that we are trying to bring back is our spiritual connection with nature. And as we saw in the Chipko movement in India and Rajasthan, where over 360 Bishnois laid down their lives to protect khejri trees from being cut down. And then, of course, the movement grew, and there are examples from across the world, like this is from Canada, and we right here in India, we have the Donguria Koans in India who stood up against the Vedanta's plans for destroying the sacred hills in Niyamgiri. So there is proof, there is evidence that people will stand up and protect nature when they have a spiritual connection, when they feel the connection. And we all had that, and that's broken. So, my whole effort and my whole the organization also that I've put together. Our whole effort is to work towards reviving this. And if any of you have more questions, I'm very happy to discuss and discuss more with you on this. So rewilding, how religions and science and technology can come together to make this a reality. Due to shortage of time, I cannot get into it in more detail, but I hope that you have understood the core ethics of what eco-spirituality represents. So yeah, that's it. That's it from my side. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Radhika. We know that we have limited time today. So, but yes, in case you have any other questions, anybody from the team, you can post that in the chat and we'll take those up in the end of the session, depending upon the time. So we have our next speaker with us, Dr. Maheshwari Sanguli. So if Dr. Maheshwari, you can come up and share a few words of.
Yeah, thank you so much, Surbhi. So, and Harsha, for the opportunity. So I don't want to talk about the moral aspect here or ethical aspects. We all are well versed here and we know what we're doing. And I don't think people have to think we're doing something great by becoming vegan, by saving Earth or something. It's saving ourselves. That's it. And of course, we don't have a planet B, right? And many people think, okay, what to do? I mean, we need to do something great to change the earth or save earth. Not at all. We just have to take a simple step, a practical steps on day-to-day living, right? How do we do that? So as I need to talk about the food and lifestyle related, we know 30% of greenhouse emission is through the food production, right? And do we have to really produce food? And we need to make smaller changes. How? And it is a win-win situation. What I'm talking, it's not something great. If we do this, definitely we're going to improve our health. So why not do this and save earth too, right? So the basic things are eat local and seasonal. Do we have to have all the fruits in all the season? Is it required or is it healthy? No, right? So why can't we understand the basic steps of eating seasonal food and regional foods? If we eat seasonal foods, there is no need of growing all the time all the fruits, which is actually not necessary and not even healthy. And eating seasonal and regional, what I was talking about, this will, we don't have to, we cut down a lot of footprint on transportation. It is a huge, expense and a lot of emission what we're doing. So we can cut down on food transportation, and we don't have to eat the food which is factory made. Is it healthy? Not. Is it, are we supposed to have exotic fruits all the time? Is it healthy? Not really. So we need to shift into eating seasonal and regional foods, whatever is locally available, right? So that is one more thing. And Mr. Harshdeep was saying a lot of food waste. And I see in my day-to-day practice, people come not with eating less, I mean, a malnourishment. Absolutely not. A lot of issues are because of overnourished, obesity, diabetes. We are eating a lot. I mean, we are wasting and eating. That is too much now. So is it required? Right? So we need to see how much of food we are taking, what kind of food are we taking in. Just check day to day. How much of food are you eating from the packets from your kitchen, or is it from the kitchen, or is it from the packets, right? And how much are you cooking by yourself and eating? Isn't it all these are small things, and we can contribute in this. And even the plant-based food, we don't even have to talk about it, how good it is to the body. Even myself, when I started, it is definitely not that ethical or something which I started on actually. So once I started giving plant-based nutrition to my followers and patients, I used to see how amazing it is to them actually in their health. Then I started just including on myself. Of course, I was a vegetarian since any time, but I was definitely taking dairy. Then I had quit and I saw the benefits on myself and my family too. So this is all just experience. It is nothing great. So we can just start including smaller steps. And also, this is about food. I don't have much time. And lifestyle. Nowadays, we see it is all a lot of availability we have now. if you observe people using even clothes, nobody wants to wear something which is they've already worn sometime or sometime, right? It is not called fashion. And who introduced that, right? So nobody wants to wear what you get a cloth because you like it. So you can wear it also as many times as you want. But it is not called fashion. But so we need to make our lifestyle a little thoughtful and minimal, thinking that is it worth buying things for someone else, or for just to fit into a phrase, right? And also, people who have children, it is good if we can start teaching them from now. So what they should eat, maybe eating seasonal, regional, and eating basic food for health, and living a minimal lifestyle, for not getting a lot of things which they don't want to use and they can reuse. And that is a new fashion. Being simple and minimal is a new fashion. So thinking in those steps and taking a smaller steps just by ourselves, in our family or people around us, whenever any follower comes and they say, even if they would have dropped non-veg for 80-90%, I feel great. That is enough. They don't have to become perfect. Let them take a small steps in that way, and they see the benefits too, right? So we need to see what are the basic steps we can take on day-to-day basis, right now, right today, right? So that is what we can, I would like to say, just making life simple, minimal, and making this as a new lifestyle, and making being minimal and simple as fashionable. Yeah. And that definitely saves not earth, it ourselves. And it is we all live on the same earth, right? So this is the only place we have, so we can save ourselves and earth too by doing all these simple steps.
Thank you so much,
Do I have
Dr.
some more time?
I think we're already running short on time. We can take
Yeah.
up the questions afterwards. Yeah, thank you so
Right.
much for sharing everything in such a simplistic manner. I think people would have understood it so well, since this was the easiest way to explain what they can do in the simplest forms. Right. Yeah, since now we are done with the speakers, they've shared whatever details they had. If I can request everybody who is on call to turn on their cameras, if we can take a group photo before we move on to the next segment for taking up any questions, whoever has. Yeah.
Tell us before taking the picture. We want
Yeah,
to
tell us. I'm also on an office call right now, so I'm going mad here. दोनों जगह कुछ कुछ चल रहा है.
Yeah.
I think once everyone, yeah, I'm just waiting for Shweta and Radhika, Shubho, Nishant.
Harsha, your hair looks so nice. What are you doing?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Great. It's done. Thank you so much.
Everyone for turning on your cameras. That was wonderful to see your faces. So yeah, in case anyone has any questions, anything that you heard during the discussions, you have any concerns or anything you must want to share, you can raise your hand and we can take those up. Yes, Harshdeep.
I have a question for Radhika. So, I mean, I love what she said, and that's true for me. It started with spirituality and it led to ecology. And what I'd like to know is, are there any methods that you're using? Is there a program that you offer so that people can experience that connection with nature?
I'm not sure. I think Radhika got dropped out in between after taking the picture. So maybe once she's back, she can answer your question. But as far as we are aware, I think she definitely mentioned some time back that they do go out or for some sessions. So she is definitely doing something that you can be part of. Not sure if that's happening virtually or not, but in person, she's definitely doing some on-ground work that she take along from people.
Right. Yeah. Great.
I think to add, since Radhika is not here, and I'm aware about what exactly she's doing. She take students and even adults to go out in Delhi around rich forest area and whatever forest area we have left in Delhi, and do activities like tree hugging and soil bathing, water bathing. So that's kind of activities which actually regenerate your body, soul, and you connect with nature. That kind of activity she's organizing in Delhi NCR. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Harsha. I hope Harshdeep got some answer from us, and we'll share more answers if Radhika is back. Do we have any other questions from the team, or do you want to know more details of the work that people have shared here?
If anybody wants to know how to start, step-by-step plant-based nutrition or the lifestyle in a practical manner, step by step, they can connect with me. I conduct programs where it makes simple and doable for anybody. And also they can reverse their diseases too.
Thank you, Dr. Maheshwari. I think I would like to just raise one thing here. Since you are here, maybe you can answer just in one line or as limited as possible. A lot of the times, people like the college students, they have this concern that they're not financially stable. They are getting whatever they're getting from their parents, and parents usually don't allow them to shift to a plant-based diet or to have anything else that they want to have. So sometimes they feel that they can't really make a choice because they are not financially independent at that point. So how do they take some small steps, and how do they start from home? And if they can't afford something which is expensive, or if they can't do something at home also. So
Yeah,
what?
this is one nice question, but to practically, plant-based nutrition is actually affordable compared to non-veg, right? So that is one thing. Plant-based nutrition is not just taking, the ready-made plant-based milk or curd. Absolutely not. Just taking some fruits, the locally grown vegetables, and having the local grains and the simple dals and the greens and some nuts and seeds. That's it. There is nothing more. I would not suggest anything where you buy from out and have it. Whatever anything packed or produced, factory made, which is actually the expensive one, which is not even needed, definitely. So just for example, fruits are something we are actually fruitarians to say, the human being. So I would always focus on eating a lot of fruits. So taking one meal of fruit, especially if they're students, it is amazing. So they can take that. And maybe taking few grains, like either you take some roti or rice, some whole grains with any pulses, what they get with 2, 3 vegetables. That's it. It actually costs very, very less. That's what I say when, they can take practical steps and they can start following in an easy manner. They can, I can help them, and definitely I can, they can connect with me. I'll be happy to give the pointers individually too, as how it helps them.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I hope people must have got their answers because there might be people watching us live, and they would be watching the recording also. They would get some answers for all the youth there. So yeah, thank you so much. In case we don't have any other questions, we can move ahead to just the last few words that Harsha wanted to go ahead with. Do we have any other questions from you?
I think before I start, Subi, I would request if Shiva, Shweta, or Monica has something to say uh, in whatever we have discussed, and probably their journey, if they want to add something to the conversation, it will be really good to have from these three people as well.
Yeah, as Dr. Maheshwari, what she said is very true. Not that every time there is a need of going for expensive packaged food. and many people just as the point raised that college students and who are not still financially independent, they may think that becoming a vegan is a bit expensive, but in practical it is not at all. We can get all the nutritions what we have locally, regionally, and most of the time like our grandmother's diet.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Do we have something to be added from anyone else? Shweta, Monica.
Hi.
Okay, sorry, no,
So
go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that I think a lot of people don't realize that the standard Indian diet is already to a very large extent vegan. You know, we have so many vegetables, lentils. We have nuts and seeds, like somebody else was also mentioning that, and I think that needs to be brought more into focus, that we are already eating a large portion of your food is already vegan. So it's just few things that you have to switch. It's not a matter of changing your entire diet. So I just feel that's something that also needs to be focused on more.
That's what exactly I wanted to talk about. I mean, for us Indians, I think it's really easy to be a vegan compared to other foreigners, especially because they are born and brought up in a meat-eating family. They find it really difficult. But even though nowadays in Europe, anywhere else, people are finding it's really easy to get plant-based meat, milk. So I think for us Indians, we are already blessed because 90% of our food is already vegan. All we have to do is substitute animal milk with plant-based milk, either from buying it from stores or making it at home. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you so much, Monica and Radhika. I think everybody has shared their words. Shweta, do you want to add something, or do you have anything to share with people?
That was a very useful session. I really enjoyed seeing my fellow vegans. Yeah, thank you for this for inviting me here. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shweta. So yeah, maybe over to you, Harsha. I'll just share.
Thank you so much, Surbi. I think it was really wonderful and enlightening what I have heard, because we have been talking about plant-based meat and what are the problem in intensive farmings. But today, I think, Radhika, I would like to thank you for this, that you have given us a new perception. And even Dr. Maheshwari also mentioned that we have to start improving ourselves because we do not have a planet B, which is a common quote being used. So I would say a big thank you to all of you. It was such a wonderful experience hearing all the eminent people that we have. We know that Earth has given us shelter, food, plenty of other amenities. The least we can do is preserve it. As we said, there is no planet B. Human species is the one who can actually make it or break it. It should be our sole responsibility to find different ways to save our nature Earth and contribute our part on its holy land. There are tons of actions which we can start doing. It can be anything from small to big, like saving our resources, whether it is water. Harshdeep talked about soil, safe soil movement. It can be recycling your own products, using fewer clothes, saving energy, probably going local, as Dr. Maheshwari was mentioning, planting more trees, and probably eating more trees. I meant having plant-based food on your plate, as we have been talking about. So you are free to choose the way you want to conserve Earth, probably for yourself, probably for your friends, families, and future generations. There are plenty of ways which you can adopt and save the Earth. So I would like to congratulate everyone. You are the change maker of Earth, and you have done an amazing job. And I would request everyone to bring more such people in this cycle, so that, as Harshdeep was mentioning, that we individually are doing our work. We should come together, bring more people in this journey, and be the change maker for our nature Earth. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a wonderful session. Thank you for allowing your time. At end, I just want everyone to say probably wishing each other happy World Earth Day. If we can manage to do it, just one moment of time, I can give a count if it is possible. So I'll ask everyone to again turn on the video and probably just let's wish each other. So I'll just give a count. Is everyone ready? Great. So 1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
World
Happy
Earth.
World Day.
Thank you so much, everyone. I know it was kinda okay, but that's fine. And yeah, it was really amazing to have you all. A big applause to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for
everyone,
the
for joining.
opportunity,
Thank you, ma'am.
Harsha.
Thank you,
But
Harsha.
before you
Thank
guys leave,
everyone.
yeah,
Thank you,
before
everyone.
anyone leaves, we have a poll also. So maybe Harshdeep, you can go first, and we have a poll that we would like to share with you, and you can share your feedback there.
Sure.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was
Thank you.
wonderful, and we will be connected, and we will grow this army. What we are trying to do to a bit to save our Earth. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Have a great
everyone.
Thanks,
weekend.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.